Pooh versus Bambi, issue number 3 from Zenescope. So this is 3 of 3. This is the finale to this little mini series where Pooh Bear fights against Bambi. And in the last issue, Pooh Bear and Piglet were captured by Bambi and Tigger and Kanga. And basically, we start off this issue with Bambi revealing why he did what he did and how he survived. So he just kind of talks about how Pooh Bear was always a favorite and all the other animals were basically second fiddle to him, and he was like the main character in his own movie, basically. And they didn't really care for that, but they were family, so they decided, we'll still help out Pooh Bear. And then Bambi discovered that the government was kidnapping animals and injecting DNA into them, human DNA, and turning them into these humanoids so that they can control them as super soldiers. So Bambi told Pooh Bear, and Pooh Bear refused to believe in that because, he sees Christopher Robin as his father. So he couldn't believe that Christopher Robin would be involved in something like this. And Pooh Bear shot him after Bambi tried to kill him first. We saw all that happen in the first issue that I did a video review for. Anyways, Bambi says that the thing is, you missed the wrong place when you hit. Like, you missed the mark. Kanga was able to find me right after you left, and she hooked me up to a bunch of machines and basically was able to fix me up. And so I was able to survive. And at some point, Tigger found me and immediately joined my group. And now we have a plan where we're basically going to go out and take over the world, in a sense. We'll leave you with Roo and see ya, Pooh Bear. And then Roo is like a complete psycho. He wants to pretty much torture Pooh Bear and Piglet. So he leaves to go get some torture instruments. And that's when Piglet's like, okay, I might have a plan. There's an explosive built into my suit. The government wanted me to take out you and Tigger. Like, once we found Tigger, I was supposed to kill both you and Tigger with this explosive. But I don't plan on doing that because now that I know you're a good soldier and I know what you're all about, why don't I just use the explosive to free us? Pooh Bear's like, that's dumb. You're just going to end up blowing both of us. No, I got a plan of my own. So Roo comes out with the blowtorch and some blades and stuff like that. Pooh Bear bites him in the face, causing Roo to drop the blowtorch, and Piglet uses that to escape. And the two of them just basically beat up on Roo, break his tail, and demand answers. Like, where are Kanga and Bambi going, and what is their plan? Like, how do they plan on taking over the world? And the plan is that they created a bunch of heffalumps, and the heffalumps have built-in bombs inside of them. And the bombs are they're going to spread the heffalumps all over the world. The bombs are going to blow up, and when they blow up, they're going to be shooting their DNA, which is going to infect the humans and turn them into these animal, humanoid, anthropomorphic creatures, which will then follow Bambi and Kanga's orders. So that's the plan. Heffalump bombs. I was like, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Killer 7 with Heaven Smile. Where Heaven Smile were basically like these like weird creatures with built-in bombs inside of them. As soon as I read the Heffalump bombs, I was like, oh, this is Killer 7, basically. So yeah, they go after this jet that Bambi and Kanga are in. Along the way, Tigger attacks, so Piglet decides to fight off Tigger and uses her explosive suit bomb to blow up Tigger and ties her up. Meanwhile, with Pooh Bear, he sneaks on board the plane. This is where things kind of lose me a little bit. Bambi starts beating him up, and Pooh Bear's like, you know what? You want to get revenge on me? Fine. Like, go ahead and kill me. But don't go setting out Heffalump bombs to blow up innocent civilians that had nothing to do with any of this. And Bambi's confused. He's like, what are you talking about? Bombs and Heffalumps. And that's when he realizes that Kanga had basically changed things. Bambi's idea was that he created the heffalumps with Kanga's help. They didn't take animals and then pump them full of human DNA to create these anthropomorphic creatures. Instead, they were able to just create heffalumps from scratch using animal DNA. And he wants to show that this is the way to go, that these are like the next evolution stage, and the humans will want to become like them and look up to them, and that's how he'll be able to take over the world. The king is like, no, that's stupid. Like, our heffalumps are retarded. They are just complete garbage. Instead, why don't we just use them to cause them to blow up, spread the DNA, and we'll just complete our plans even faster. But Bambi doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to take over with force. It's kind of dumb. I kind of like the whole, like, because here they try to redeem Bambi. Like, once Bambi realizes that Kinga's plan is different than his, well, same outcome, but different way to go about it, he teams up with Pooh Bear again. I was like, we had 3 issues where Bambi was like trying to kill Pooh Bear, and now because his second in command turns against him, we're supposed to forgive that, and Bambi's now a good guy again. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, they basically fight the Heffalumps. So we have Pooh Bear and Bambi fighting an army of Heffalumps with guns and shooting them and stuff. The plane is damaged. It's going to crash. And Kinga says it's too late. Like, once it crashes, it's going to crash into a city. And even though we'll all die, the explosion will still, spread out the DNA. So we will win in the end. Bambi's like, not if I crash it somewhere where there are no civilians. So he gives Pooh Bear a parachute and basically tells him to get out of the plane. And Bambi sacrifices himself to crash the plane somewhere where there won't be any people. Him and Piglet have a moment. I guess they're going with that whole meme about, women and bears. And she goes to show where Tigger is, but turns out Tigger is gone. And Pooh Bear is like, well, when you report back to headquarters, just tell them that she's dead. Tell them that you completed your assignment and you took out Tigger and I. That way, I can get off the grid. They won't be looking for me because they'll think I'm dead. And I can go track down Tigger myself. And when I find her, I'll let you know so that you can finish your quarrel with her. And that's how that little moment ends with them. And then the final moment is we see the secret underground base where there's like this guerrilla army. Not actual guerrillas, but more like guerrilla tactics. And we see this figure sitting down. And Tigger basically says that, Bambi's most likely dead, but it doesn't matter. I got what we were looking for. And we see the figure says, well, now you don't say, silly old bear. And at first I was like, is that supposed to be Eeyore? That could be a donkey. But another thing I'm thinking of is maybe this is supposed to be Nasty Jack. I can't tell. I think it's supposed to be a donkey. I think it's supposed to be Eeyore. Like, the head kind of looks, like the top of the head looks a little bit more like a donkey than a horse. Because Nasty Jack is in the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, but I don't think he's public domain because New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was like in the 90s, so he's hasn't been out for that long. And he was only in 1 episode. So to make a reference to 1 episode of one of Winnie the Pooh series seems very weird. So I think it's supposed to be Eeyore. So yeah, I guess Eeyore is going to be the next big bad villain, assuming that this gets a volume 2, which fingers crossed, I hope it does, because I love this. This was stupid, dumb fun, and I absolutely love the hell out of it. It's just, take all your 80s action cliches, ramp them up, dial it up to 11, and that's what this series is. It's Winnie the Pooh as a dumb, over-the-top 80s action flick in comic book form. And I love it. It's so stupid, but so funny. So yeah, I felt the whole Bambi situation was kind of weak. But other than that, like, I really enjoyed this run. It was entertaining as hell. And I'm hoping that we get a volume 2, because I want to see the continued adventures of this version of Winnie the Pooh. It's nice to see like a public domain usage of Winnie the Pooh that's not straight up horror, because it seems like anytime a character goes public domain, the first thing that we gotta do, we gotta do a horror movie about it. We gotta make a horror video game about it. We gotta do horror. And this is like, nah, we're not gonna do horror. Instead, we're gonna do over the top 80s action flick. And I was like, all right, sweet. So yeah, go check out Pooh versus Bambi. It's just 3 issues, 3 fun, entertaining issues. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, And I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.